Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Okay, I'm not even sure if my volume is up, but anywho, how y'all doing today? Happy Friday. So I know y'all will join when you get a chance. If you're on, I can't see you. Hey Christina. Um, as you join, pop in, drop something in the comments, tell me you're here, who you are, so I can see you. And y'all, I'm not gonna be on here long. You know I don't ever go live. I need to do better. But I wanted to just give a real quick message. And if you see the title of this live, I'm calling these kingdom conversations. So y'all will know when I'm talking business and when I'm talking kingdom. We're talking kingdom right now. But I called it the cast iron skillet. So what does that mean? I had this conversation with my cousin, and y'all let me know if you can hear me before I get into my message. Just drop a comment or something. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. And I'll wait a second because it's a delay. Hi, Michael. Welcome. Okay. Thanks for the heart, Kristen. Okay. All right. So my message is the cast iron skillet. So I was having this conversation with my cousin this morning, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I was supposed to go live earlier this week, and I didn't. I was being disobedient. I was being hard headed, and God will start wearing me out when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, doing what I'm supposed to do. So here I am giving y'all this message. So it's been simmering in the crock pot all week. But the thought here is, if you are from the country like I am, we cook on cast iron skillets, right? So you want to have some fried fish or some good cornbread, that cast iron skillet is your go-to. And if you don't know anything about cast iron, it's a very strong metal, but it's very fragile at the same time. So what does that mean? In its raw state, when I say raw, I mean unseasoned, and I'll explain what seasoning means in a moment. But in its raw state, cast iron is very susceptible to damage. If you put any water on it, it will start to rust. The composition of it gets compromised if you haven't seasoned it, if you haven't protected it. Okay, so just know that about cast iron. So how do you season a cast iron skillet? Basically, what you're doing is you're covering it in oil, and then you heat it at a very high temperature. So and you can actually revive cast iron if you have an old skillet that's rusted out and you want to bring it back to life. You want to scrub it real good with a Brillo pad or something like that to get that layer of rust off. And then you're going to cover it in a layer of oil and then put it in the oven at a very high heat. And what that does is it creates a layer, a protective barrier on the oil. The fat in the oil fuses with the iron, and it creates this layer, a protective layer on your cast iron. So why am I talking about this? What do you care about cast iron skillets? Y'all, I'm telling you, even the simplest things will minister to me. And I don't know why I had this whole revelation about cast iron, but I did. And what God was telling me is we have to go through the same seasoning process, right? So in order for us to be seasoned, in order for us to get that nice protective layer on us, we have to go through the fire, right? So we need to have that protective barrier that you'll hear people talk about. Hey, Trinae, you'll hear people talk about the refiner's fire. And basically what God is doing for us is he got to put us through some things. We got to go through the fire to burn off these impurities and to have that nice protective layer, that barrier on us. You got to go through some things. So that fire is necessary for you to be useful. That cast iron skillet without that layer of protection, you can't really use it. It looks good, but it's not in its state to where it can be of use to you. And if you want to be of use to God, he got to burn some impurities off of you. He's going to have to put you through some fire to get you, to toughen you up, because it's not going to get easier. You are always going to have tests. You're always going to have tribulations. The fire is not going to subside. It's going to be there. But what comes out on the other side of that fire depends on how you are seasoned going into that fire. So that oil is necessary. Let God put that oil on you so that you can create that protective barrier and be ready for what's coming next, because he got to use you. He has to use you. And you need that protective barrier in order for you to be useful to him. And so I know I'm preaching, because these little things like this, like something as simple as cast iron, there's meaning to that. So that's really the message that I wanted to give you. I told you I wasn't going to be on here long, but just know that God has given all of us a purpose. He's given all of us gifts, and he wants to use that. So if you don't know what that purpose or that gift is, I want you to spend some time with God and understand what he's trying to do in your life. Having to go through the fire, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good, but it's necessary. So you should be trying to understand, what is it that God's trying to do with you and in you? What are you supposed to be learning and getting from your time in the fire? Because it's preparing you for something. It's preparing you to be useful. Spend that time with God and understand what that is for you. He's been pruning and doing a lot with me lately. And I know that all of this is for him to use me in a big, big way. But I know that today it might not feel good being in the fire. It doesn't. But it's necessary. All right, that's all I had to say. I love y'all. God loves you. Y'all have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend.